So, this is new for me too. I've wanted to do something like this for a while, and I'm only just now getting around to it. I apologize in advance for the bad art. I'm really not good at this, but I'm still going to try and see how it goes. So, since from what I can tell, you're supposed to tell stories in these kind of videos. It's called a storytime animation chaos, you fucking moron. Obviously, that's what you do. So, for the lack of anything else, here's how I managed to fix my completely broken sleep pattern. So, for pretty much as long as I can remember, my sleep patterns have been completely broken. I'd go to bed and wind up laying there for a couple hours wide awake. Then I'd sleep for a couple hours. Repeat until my alarm goes off. But I'd still manage to average about 6 hours a night, although that was partially because as a kid I had to be in bed by 9 o'clock. Yet now I don't go to bed till about 11 or midnight-ish, depending on the night. Now, during my time in the Navy, I averaged 4 hours of sleep per night, and unfortunately, when I got out, I wound up keeping the 4 hour per night sleep schedule, and only fairly recently was I able to actually fix that. But I'll have to put it a little into context a little bit. So about a year ago, I wasn't sleeping almost at all because when I was asleep, I kept having this recurring nightmare. You ever have those dreams where something happens to you, like say you get stabbed or something, and you swear you can actually feel the pain even when you wake up? I kept having one like that, and it wound up keeping me from sleeping for about a month straight, and I wound up becoming stupid reliant on coffee, even though I already have one per morning whether I need it or not. Come to chaos, you beautiful caffeinated son of a bitch. So it got to a point where I went to my doctor and asked if she could potentially find out why I wasn't sleeping. Now, she wasn't able to give me a reason, but she thought maybe there was something psychological keeping me up and gave me a referral to a shrink. Now, I currently live in Japan, and I was a little skeptical about going to a shrink, but my doctor told me that the shrink in particular knew pretty good English, and she had also told me that because I had the referral, the visit to the shrink would be free. Admittedly, I only went to the shrink because it was free. I went in, and the shrink asked me about my life, and I tried to answer every question as best as I could, and I wound up getting told a couple things that I admittedly was not expecting to hear. Now, the shrink did point out that from what they could tell, might be full-on antisocial, which honestly didn't surprise me too much. The shrink also told me that from what they could tell in the one session that I might be displaying more psychopathic traits than most people. Still not really sure how to process that one. The other thing that the shrink had told me was that I was most likely having some kind of intimacy issues. See, despite being basically antisocial, it is nice to know that there's somebody out there that cares about you, and while I have my family, I've been single for about 4 years, and of the 3 relationships I had, 2 were long distance, and just... ugh. So I asked the shrink for ideas to try to actually sleep. Now, obviously, I didn't want to have to go on any expensive medication, but I wound up unsure how to handle the suggestion that I was given. The shrink had told me to buy a body pillow. Well, the shrink called it a hug pillow, since that's apparently how they're normally referred to here. But I was actually kind of offended, and anybody who knows the stereotype of people with body pillows know exactly why. So I wound up leaving the shrink's office, and I just kind of muddled through and did the best I could, still averaging about 4 hours of sleep a night. But a month ago, I wound up getting to finally change that. Still wasn't sleeping very well and was sick of it and wanted to actually be able to sleep. I happened to be browsing Amazon Japan, and what do I find on sale? Hug pillows with covers. Now, I remember that the shrink had suggested one to me as a sleep aid of sorts, and I ultimately decided, screw it, why not? And I also decided that if it wound up helping me sleep and actually working as a sleep aid, that I wouldn't care what people would say about me for it, because I like sleep. About 3 days after I ordered it, thank you Prime shipping, it arrived, and I took it out of the box, put the case on it, and put it on the bed. Now, I wound up not getting to use it, as far as try to sleep till that night, because it came really early in the morning. But that night, I slept next to it, and I actually wound up cuddling with it a little, and I have yet to sleep better ever since I bought it. I have finally gotten to get a decent amount of sleep, and now I'm actually averaging about 8 hours of sleep per night, and I'm way less reliant on my morning coffee, even though I still feel like a zombie if I don't get it. And pretty much since I've bought it, I've managed to actually sleep fantastically. And that's really it. I don't really know what else to talk about for this, because that's kind of the end of my spiel. If you want me to do more of these kind of videos, or have any kind of constructive feedback for this, let me know, either in the comments or Twitter or whatever. If you want me to make more of these, I'm probably still going to make more of these, but if you want me to make more, also let me know. And because I don't really have a better way to end the video, I'll see you later.